Hi Mikla, thank you very much for joining me today and also the willingness to speak about your project. You're going to speak to us about your experience on the Wildlife Health Science track and specifically completing the MSci. To start off, would you please give us a bit of background of your project and your project's title?
Yes, so the title of my project was elucidating the role of wildlife in the transmission of Q fever, and the project was about testing the seroprevalence in different ungulate species in southern Africa.
Great, thank you very much. And what did you find most challenging during the project? I'm thinking in the lines of where you got stuck or felt overwhelmed, things like data analysis, methodology or something like that?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the project it was when I was the most stuck, as I came into this project with zero experience in molecular biology or epidemiology. So I think the beginning was the toughest part for me.
Yeah, but I think you learned a lot
Yeah,
during this
definitely.
time and you did well. What aspect of this project was the most frustrating to you, and how did you overcome this frustration when things didn't go according to plan? How did you adapt or manage the expectations?
If I have to be honest, I don't think I've experienced any frustrations during the project. I think everything went quite smoothly, at least in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think there have been moments where I've been frustrated. Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's reassuring to me, at least. So, do you have any regrets about the project or things that you would have done differently? Looking back, I mean, is there something you wish you could have planned better, prioritized earlier in the project?
I don't think I have any regrets about the project. The only thing I wish we could have done is maybe incorporate the data from Etosha, as we didn't unfortunately have the ability to. Yeah.
But I think all turned out well in the end, anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I think it maybe even turned out better because we might not have enough time to finish the project on time if we had that additional data.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What part of your findings do you think is the most important for science and for conservation, especially focusing on what you've discovered in the broader context, scientifically, ecologically, or even societally?
Yeah, I think the most important finding would be the primary finding, which is the seroprevalence of Q fever in different species, in all the 5 species that we tested. I think that's the most important finding from our project that we had.
Yeah, if we think, we spoke about it a little bit earlier as well, ecologically, why is this important? Why do we need to know this?
Yeah, I think it's important to know the seroprevalence of this disease as it's severely understudied, especially in African context, and this disease Q fever, I mean, can have serious consequences. Especially when it comes to endangered species such as rhinos, it can impact their reproductive health. So I think it's important to know the different transmission routes of the disease and how can we prevent the transmission.
Yeah, I think that's really, really important. So, through this project, did it shift your career ambitions or your interests in wildlife health or One Health? And if it did, how did it do that? Maybe just reinforce it to us.
Yeah, I think the project definitely did shift my career ideas. At the beginning of the project, I would never consider doing a PhD, but now that's something that's seriously on my mind to do in the future, possibly maybe next year or the year after that.
Hopefully I can get you back into the lab.
Yeah,
that
hopefully.
Would be great.
Yeah.
So how have you grown? I'm thinking more academically, personally or professionally over the course of this research year. Think about new skills, the confidence that you gained, things that you've changed your mind in science.
Yeah, so definitely this project has taught me a lot. As I said at the beginning, I came into this project with zero experience in molecular biology, epidemiology, so I had like almost zero experience in lab. But throughout this project, I learned all the lab techniques, all the safety aspects of it. So I think this is what I learned the most.
Yeah. And then throughout the project, was there any moment or moments where you felt like a real scientist? And can you describe it to us?
Yeah, definitely. One of those moments was when we were in the Kruger National Park and we were working on our samples. We started at around 8 a.m. and then we finished at 3 a.m. the next morning, you could say. going through all the samples in one day. That I think that was the moment where
Yeah.
where I felt like the real scientist, you could say.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite a push. I think we did something like 900 samples,
Yeah,
right?
I believe so. It was like around 909 samples plus a couple duplicates.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
another disease that we
Yes.
investigate. Yeah, it was quite a busy day.
It was very busy.
So what was the highlight of your project? What specific moment would you say stood out for you? Was it fieldwork, lab success, something new that you learned, techniques or experiences?
I think the entire project was the highlight for me. If I had to pick, I definitely was the travels that we did to Etosha and Kruger National Park. But another thing would be to was the experience of working in a high containment lab when we went for the training session in Pirbright Institute. I think that was a great experience, seeing how a real world, real lab looks like, especially the high containment and how things work, how the things work in real life.
Yeah, I think I almost forgot about that, but that is a really nice extra thing that was part of this project, sort of fortuitously, but it gives you that extra experience and extra depth on understanding, what a reference laboratory looks like, how they work and how they manage and how high containment works. Not a lot of people get that experience, and it is interesting going through the showers, right?
It's very interesting, yeah.
But would you recommend this MSci route, and specifically in the wildlife health science track, to others, and if so, why?
Yeah, I think so. I would recommend it, especially for people that do want to learn more about wildlife, and especially the One Health aspect of it, how the disease plays a part in the broader health of the ecosystem.
Yeah, okay, great. And then following on that, what advice would you then give these future students considering the MSci research project? I mean, is there some tips you want to give them, communicating with supervisors, for example, or navigating some of the challenges that you faced during an independently led project?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the main advice would be to don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions to your supervisor. If you're unsure about something, just go to him, ask him, send an email, whatever. And my second advice would be more to do with once you actually start doing your project and you start writing it up. Do write your methodology as you go, so you don't forget. That was the advice that Edward given me, and it's been really useful.
Yeah, I'm glad you followed at least on that advice. Yeah. But it's nice to see how you've grown, Mikla, and the success that you've gained through this project. I'm really proud of you. And just as a small token of appreciation, I've got a little gift from the lab to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mikla.
Thank you.